So we know when we come to school, we see you and you make the announcements. Basically, how does each day start for you, and what is your morning routine before you come here and start the day?
Well, I'm up at 4:30 every morning, and the first thing on my agenda is my devotion. I happen to be religious, and I happen to be an elder in my church. So my daily devotions are very important. And then from there, I do some exercises. I prepare, I dress, I have breakfast at home every morning, and then I jump in my car and I drive to Cherry Hill.
So what time do you arrive at East?
I try to arrive around 7 a.m. 7 a.m.
So when you come to East, generally we know that you make the announcements every morning. So what are your inspirations for the announcements? Where do you get your quotes from? Are they your own quotes that you read in a book and they just come to mind? What's behind all that?
I'm always on the lookout for quotes. In fact, I saw one around on a display in our school building that I'm going to use. So I'm always on the lookout, and I do a lot of reading. I love to read the New York Times, the Philadelphia Inquirer, other newspapers. I do a lot of reading of books. So as I read, I see them and I make note. So, and then I Google, you know, like when it's Women History Month, I Google Women History Month and I come up with some quotes. When it's Black History Month, I do the same thing. So I Google a lot. So between Googling, reading, people share quotes with me. So I make note and I try to keep them.
Would Jake Walsh please come to the activities office? Jake Walsh to the activities office.
The reason that I try to give some inspirational texts as much as I can is because I believe that we all need to be inspired and motivated. And I believe that, and I have some evidence that I have touched some scholars. Certainly not as many as I would want, but I have touched them. And I've heard some scholars repeat some things that I've said. So that's the reason I do that. I believe in inspiration, and I believe in motivation.
Wonderful. So I think a lot of your hard work that you do behind the scenes gets unnoticed. I don't think many people know what you're doing behind the closed doors. So what is your daily routine here at East from when you arrive and when the students are in class?
The first thing that I do is to take a look at the emails and respond to the ones that I feel are crucial to respond to right away, and then set aside those that I can take care of later on. And then it is important for me to get around the building to see what's going on. Right. I feel that part of my responsibility as a principal is to set the tone, to set the school climate. So I want to get around, meet and greet students and staff, and to try to make sure that the quality of instruction is going on that we all expect.
Right.
And from there, I will, in many cases, I will observe some instruction. I would visit classrooms. I will deal with parental matters. Parents call me. They want me to get back to them. So I deal with that. We have staff members who want to share some things with me, so I make time for that. There is a lot of correspondence that come in that I have to respond to, so meeting with my secretary on a daily basis and doing the correspondence to the district office or to the state or to the government or to parents, I take care of that.
And aside from that, is there anything in particular that you like to do that's fun throughout the day? And like, who are your friends within administration that you enjoy seeing?
One of the fun things that I enjoy is meeting with scholars and being able to try to resolve their concerns. I really get an enjoyment out of a scholar coming in, very concerned about a matter, feeling like it's between life and death, and I can sit and I can listen, and I can help to resolve that. That's a real good feeling for me. In terms of my friends, I have lots of friends here, lots of people that I would consider friends. We're not necessarily social friends, but professional friends. And so I have the administrative staff here and members of the faculty, as well as staff members. I have a large number that I would consider to be friends. I have found that people here in general are very warm and friendly. I said to the last group here that I was so pleased, so very delighted how I was accepted when I first came. People have welcomed me with open arms, and I feel that I can always have a conversation, or I can ask anyone on our staff to do something, and they will do it with a smile, and I just feel that this is a warm place, a caring place, and it is a place that like no other place.
So the first question that I think we should ask is, what would you say your biggest accomplishment in terms of your time as principal at East has been?
The feeling that I've played a little part in making East more caring and more of a caring community of scholars, where our lifestyle is of respect, kindness, gratitude, and service to others, while striving for excellence in all that we do. I really feel good about that. I really do. I feel that I played a little part of that. This place having a lifestyle of kindness and gratitude and respect and service. That makes me feel really good. In addition to striving for excellence in all that we do.
Right. What do you think were some of the hardest challenges to you during your time as principal?
Trying to get to know 2,200 students, scholars. That has been the most difficult task for me. So that has been a struggle for me, and I wish that one of the things that I'm saddened by is that my time is running out, and my time will run out before I get to know the 2,200 students, scholars.
Now, being that this is your final year here, what do you want the students of the school to remember you by?
As I said, when you hear the word scholar, I want this picture to pop into your memory. I really want to be remembered as someone who pushed students to be scholars, as well as going back to kind, caring, respectful, grateful, and service to others. that's how I really want to be remembered.
I think this will be our last question on camera. But so your quote has evolved over the years. You've added these numerous elements: respect, gratitude, kindness, service to others. And so it's evolved since the first time I heard it, which was my sophomore year. And so could you talk a little bit about why you decided to incorporate all these new elements?
Do you know that from time to time, a scholar would say to me, why don't you include this? And I did. For instance, a scholar said to me, why not a caring community? Like when I first started, it was a community of scholars. A scholar said to me, why don't you add a caring community of scholars? It stuck. Another scholar said to me, well, you know, we do a lot of service here. Why don't you include service? I said, you know, you're right. So that's how the service piece came in. So it really, most of the additions came from scholars saying, Dr. Chapman, why don't you add this or add that? So that's how we really got the additions.
Okay. Madeline, I think you're good.
Okay. Do you want me to?
This is a project that I'm very excited about. A few years ago, my wife and I got involved in a project in South Africa where a need was identified, a need for a school. And so we got involved in a fundraiser to raise money to build a school in South Africa. And then about 3 years later, we had the opportunity to go to the school and to do some hands-on activities and to meet the children that would be attending the school. So what you see here are children in South Africa, along with the volunteers, those of us who volunteered for this project. And in the background is the school that we worked for about 5 years to raise the money and to give some assistance to. So as we speak, there are now more than 300 students who attend the school and are provided a quality education as a result of our work. So this has been a project of love. It is one that has touched me so much, and I look forward to the next time that I have a chance to go. Because when I go, I also try to provide the teachers in the school with professional development. I try to give them the latest teaching strategies that we are using here. I give them, money is provided to them in terms of being able to purchase books, materials. So this has been a project that has been very dear to me.